This is a setup demonstration for the Aspire Zelos 50-watt device. Inside the box, in addition to the device itself, you will find an instruction manual with picture representations, the warranty card from Aspire, and a micro USB cable for charging. It is strongly recommended to use a 1 amp output or less wall block for charging the device. Let's take a look at the device itself. You'll find at the very top of the device here, you've got the fire button right here, just above the display screen that will display your current wattage and remaining battery life, etc. And then beneath that, you'll have the plus button. Just below that is the minus button. Those are used for adjusting your output. And then at the bottom of the front face is your micro USB port. And on the very top of the device, you'll find your 510 connector, where you will screw on the tank atomizer that you are going to be using. To turn on the device out of the box, you'll take the fire button here and give it 5 quick clicks. That will turn the device on. From there, when you want to turn the device back off, if you're going to put it in a purse, pocket, or bag to make sure that that button doesn't get accidentally pressed and heat your coil when you don't want it to, you would give the fire button 5 more clicks, and then the screen will display the locked message. That will stop any of the buttons from actually doing their function. The plus, minus, and fire buttons, whenever they're pressed, it just says locked. If you want to shut the device completely down, however, from the locked position, you would press and hold the fire button for a few seconds, and that will completely shut the system off. And then, of course, 5 clicks to turn it back on. If you don't decide to shut the device completely off and you simply give the 5 clicks to lock it, from there to unlock it and use it, it's the same as turning it completely on, giving it 5 clicks on the fire button. Like so. When the device is on and active, if you press this fire button 3 times instead of 5, it will go into what is referred to as stealth mode. The screen will not show you anything, no matter what you do, except for in the instance of there's no tank attached. When you tap the fire button, it will say no atomizer. But otherwise, if you attempt to adjust your output with the plus or minus buttons, or fire the tank when there's a tank attached, the screen will not light up when you use it. When it is in stealth mode, the plus and minus buttons are locked, so you can't accidentally adjust your output without being able to see the change. To exit stealth mode, all you have to do is give 3 clicks of the fire button again, the same way you entered stealth mode. And that will bring the screen back to life. Speaking of the screen, let's take a look at the information that is displayed on the screen for you. On the far left, you'll find this little battery icon that gives you your remaining battery life on the current charge. This one is currently showing that it is fully charged. Next to that, on the top set of numbers there, is the resistance of the coil that you currently have attached. This is reading at 9.99 because there is no atomizer attached at the moment. Beneath that will be an active readout of the voltage that is currently being fired from the device. It's saying 0.0 because, again, currently there's no atomizer attached and it's not being heated at the moment. Those numbers there you won't really need to worry much about. What you will want to pay attention to, however, is the series of numbers over here. This 13.0W is what it's currently set to. That's the wattage setting that you're currently at. To adjust that, you can press the plus and or minus buttons. When you press it once, it will scroll up or down in 0.1 watt increments. If you want to make it scroll a little faster than that, say it's at 13.3 and you want to get it up to 35 watts, you'll press and hold the plus button and it will scroll quickly. If you overshoot, you can press and hold to go back the other direction and narrow it down by dialing in at the very end. You'll always want to make sure you adjust the output of your device to be in the recommended wattage range of the coil that you have installed in the tank you're using. Speaking of tanks, One of the most commonly chosen and paired with this unit tanks that we carry is the Innikin I sub B tank. For information about the I sub B tank and a setup tutorial, visit our tanks page and scroll down to the I sub B listing, and right underneath that will be an embedded video, just like this one, explaining this tank. To attach your tank to the device, you'll take the threading on the bottom of the tank and screw it into that 510 connection on the top of the device, being careful not to cross-thread. Just like so. Now that we have a tank installed, on the display screen it's actually going to read the resistance of the coil that's currently attached. And when firing the device, you'll see the voltage change there. Again, you don't really need to worry too much about those numbers there. If you find that 35 watts, for example, with this coil here, you found the wattage that you like and you want to lock it in place so you don't accidentally change it, but you also don't want to be in stealth mode. You'd like to be able to see the lit up screen when you take a puff to see those numbers. All you have to do is press and hold the fire and plus buttons at the same time until the lock pad shows up. Now, if I attempt to adjust the wattage up or down, it'll just show me that locked symbol there. And if I wanted to adjust it, say I wanted to turn it back down to 30 watts, to unlock the plus and minus buttons, press and hold the plus and fire button again until the unlock symbol shows up, and then you're free to adjust your wattage to whatever your preference is. And then if you'd like to lock it again, press and hold fire and plus buttons until the padlock shows up. When you've locked the plus and minus buttons in this fashion, just like when they're locked in stealth mode, the fire button is still active. You can still heat the coil. When the device is unlocked, you can have access to adjusting the mode that the device is in. Now, this is something that won't be necessary for most folks using this device unless you are using a temperature control coil in your tank. None of the tanks that we carry that would be appropriate for this device come with temperature control style coils. However, if you are interested in finding out how to change the modes, all you have to do is, with the plus and minus buttons unlocked, press and hold the plus and minus button at the same time to bring up the menu. Oops, haha, helps if you unlock it. There we go. And there we are. Now, this setting right here, WATT, stands for wattage mode. That's the mode you're going to need for example, the I sub B tank, like I was demonstrating with before. If you need to switch into a temperature control mode or another sort of mode, you just use the plus and minus buttons to scroll through the different sorts of modes. This TC stands for temperature control, and then these other letters that are changing as I scroll are reference to the type of metal the coils are made of for temperature control. Again, you won't need to worry about any of these other modes unless you are actively wanting to use temperature control style coils. And they have more information with the tank that comes with the temperature control coils on how to set that up. But if ever your device seems to be performing strangely, it doesn't seem to be hitting right, double check what mode you're in and make sure you're back here to the wattage, WATT mode. Once you have it selected, go ahead and tap the fire button to complete your selection, and it will be reading in wattage again. That's about everything you need to know about the Aspire Zelos mod. Happy vaping!